Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off you to the one on the road to Tunis. In the west stands the legend himself, the ImperialDane. I probably shouldn't call myself a legend, that sounds a bit too arrogant. Alright though, finally have their out. Germany, Deutschland, the 21st Panzer Division, 6th Panzergrenadier Company, versus, in these it is, Monchya, though you may, for those from the coming two-time remember, as Ihito. Finally here for the British Empire, the Commonwealth, the 7th Armored Division, the Desert Rats, 3rd Company. So, we got sappers here on the move with Vickers as well here. Pretty aggressive start from Monchya. Meanwhile, Double Pioneers Grenadier built here for me, of course, with Breakthrough, which is, I really like the Battlegroup. You know, it fits like, you know, hand in glove for me. So, Grenadiers out here. We'll be going for a slightly different build one that will go against the Americans, which, you know, kind of makes sense. Moving up here, some sandbags. Briefly considered a Monchya on the calf point there, but decided against it. Grab the munitions point here. Steady advance otherwise from both sides. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters who helps keep the Propagandacaster running through thick and thin. So a big generous thanks to all those and 2 thumbs up. Grenadiers moving up here. Sandbags by the munitions point in the northern compound. Pioneers seizing the northern munitions point and the southern high munitions point. 2nd Grenadiers coming up. Vickers team there being hauled forwards. Going for the southern munitions point compound. Grab the northern points here, just very steady approach. We do have the section command post up and then section all the way there for Monchya. And we got the 2nd Grenadier squad out here. Occupying the building. Nice blocking position there against any encroaching German troops. Of course, I'm focusing on the north side of the map, so the machine gun's just been collecting dust. First shots fired here though. Sappers versus the Grenadiers. Carnot TKs versus Sten Guns Mark II, close again swiftly there with the Sten Guns. Grenadiers trying to get a bit of distance in between them and the Sappers. Getting to the building, cause Monchya realizes Sappers won't be able to do anything, so he just backs off. My Grenadiers pushing again. Up north, Pioneers moving in, and we got a 2nd Grenadier squad arriving as well here. Shots fired here, more Sappers arriving, and the south, we got the 6th moving in here. Grenadiers here around the center, going to possibly caught here from all sides. Sappers pushing after the Pioneers up north. Grenadiers moving in to try and deal with that. As suddenly Monchya's northern sappers are the ones who might actually find themselves surrounded, gun down, turn the tables, and the British, though, of course, the Grenadiers being pursued here. It's a pretty fierce flare of action. Sappers there pushed back, taking a lot of losses here. Grenadiers being engaged with the section of the sappers here. MD42 out here, backing off into the crater to avoid getting murdered by the British troops here. Down to 3 men here. Oh, not 3 men, they're still at 3 men. There you go, first loss. Then the Pioneers get a second loss, trying to flank in the Grenadiers and MP40s. Monchya quick to focus them down because if they get close, things are going to get uncomfortable for them. So I'm up here to sort of threaten them on the flank. Machine gun team also being to assist here. So far, some pretty hefty fighting here above the northern points. You typically don't see that much of here. And there you go, Saps being hammered with MD42 section there. Gonna have to fall back here. Grenadiers closing in, but they are low on health though. Very low on health in some cases. More Grenadiers arriving here, pushing in on those Tommies. Grenadiers taking some nice losses, but still, their sections are forced to withdraw here in the face of Dust Fatherland. Vickers securing the center. And we got the Sappers moving out there with another section northwards. Quickly moving to secure the northern points if possible. Pioneers are just having a nice time in the south. And I go for a faster Panzergrenadier company than I normally would say against the Americans here because, well, Grenadiers with MP40s I tend to find struggle a lot more versus the Brits, even with fast veterans. One in particular, the Sappers, if they get flamethrowers, very much tend to stomp out the MP40 Grenadiers in my experience. So I just, versus the British, don't go so heavily there for the MP40 Grenadiers and instead go for Panzer Grenadiers. Excellent retreat by the Pioneers. Sharp push here by Monchya in the south. Thumbs up. Sees in the center of the Pioneer. Could lay down some sandbags here. And there you go. First Panzer Grenadier squad on the way here. Grand points here. Because while the Panzer Grenadiers do struggle against BAR riflemen, they're actually pretty good versus the British. So while there's definitely, I think, a sort of reputation that the Panzer Grenadiers have been just generally bad, I don't think that's quite the case. It's just versus the Americans. Panzer Grenadiers tend to be a less fruitful investment versus the British. Panzer Grenadiers tend to very much be the bee's knees. Cause a neat fast medical station there to heal up my troops, in particular these Grenadiers who have taken a hell of a beating. First Panzer Grenadiers squad arriving there with their Machine Carbiner 42, which is one of the earlier models there of the Sturmgewehr. Prototypes, if you will, though they did make a lot of them to test out. In fact, these weapons went through a lot of testing before Zephyr himself accepted them. And even then, like, he kept trying to get the army to stop making these things, but they were like, this thing's bloody great. North MU42 is the section that caught in a not great position in heavy cover here. Grenadiers closing in it, trying to flash out the English from the trench here. Sappers there, Grand Northern Fuel upon the south here, pushing in there, but running straight to the machine gun there. Machine gun up poorly for me. Section finally pushed back. Okay, in the south here, straight to the Vickers there. I was not expecting him to have the Vickers there. Monchya, they're definitely doing quite well though with it, completely throwing off my assault towards the south. Thumbs up to Monchya, very sharp play there. Graham center of the Pioneers again. And up north here, machine gun there, holding up as the Sappers, but it's not looking great there. And of course the flank is very exposed here. Unfortunately, Monchya is not doing anything about that. We do get the platoon command post up here. Might be looking for a fast Humber. That is very popular with the British, and definitely a hell of a headache as the Germans to deal with. Pioneers again flanked with the section, occupying their house again. A nice position there, of course, was the Pioneers in heavy cover. Pioneers closing in on the Vickers in the south. Trying to get close in, pop a grenade assault, and there you go. Full flurry there of 6 steel hand grenade. Almost wipes out the entire machine crew except for Reginald there, who survives with 4. Pioneers got wiped in the center, but I wasn't paying attention, I was so focused on this. And they actually survive. Well, he survives with less than a health point left. Talk about luck. In the center, punch moving up, going to quickly breach the building. Flash out those Tommies. In this case, they didn't need to, so they just occupied the building, forcing out the English and firing into the backs. Sappers are setting up munitions point, they continue to try and deny it to me. Also worth noting, he's actually got 3 fuel points here versus just mine. That is a big advantage here for Monchya, not of course just in gaining him more fuel, but also crucially in denying me fuel for my Sturmgeschütz. So, definitely a strong play here by Monchya. Second, Panzergrenadiers squad, because I do want a good amount of them versus the British, as again, the troops tend to perform less well against Panzergrenadiers in my experience. Both using Panzergrenadiers and having them used against me. Meanwhile though, Monchya of course pulling here for the Humber armoured car, which of course will be another headache there for me to deal with. Second Panzer squad ready. I will need to go for that Pack 4 to at least by time. Also, going here for the support elements, of course I want that Sturmgeschütz as soon as possible. North here section of the Maschinengewehr Grenadiere. Press number, there you go, Humber racing in with its autocannon, ripping through that ND42 team. That's going to be a retreat there for sure. But by now I do have like a, notable infantry advantage. You have 2 Grenadier squads, 2 Panzergrenadier squads. In comparison, my opponent's got like 2 sections and of course 2 sappers. But the Panzergrenadiers and sappers are definitely outclassed. There you go, in the center here, Panzer versus the sappers there. Sturmgewehrs making very short work of the sappers and their Sten guns. They are absolutely outclassed. Up north there, Humber continues to be an absolute headache there. I do Panzerfausted, which does force Monchya there to be a bit more careful. There's Humber in the center there, the punch coming up for the fuel point. This time sections with saps and support here, now the Humber. And I have to fall back here rather than risk losing Panzergrenadiers pointlessly. If I'm lucky, I don't suffer any direct casualties, in which case, all that needs to be done is just heal them up. And this is certainly one of the advantages the Panzergrenadiers do have. They are fairly robust. Partly because the Germans tend to send the best troops to the Panzergrenadiers. And that's a fun fact about the German army. They actually graded infantry and graded divisions, like, various types of divisions would receive various grades of troops to support them. Like, the worst division would generally not get, the finest, whereas, with the most elite Panzergrenadier divisions and Panzer divisions would typically be, afforded the best troops. So, there's a little fun fact there. Panzerabwehrkanone 40 to help deal with that bloody Humber. Around the southern points here, steady advance from Monchya, so far as maintaining good map control. In the center, MP40 Grenadiers there, getting off a few shots. And here we actually got sea and air from my opponent, and we actually get the M1 pack howitzer here. Not something you see too often. Can in the right hands be an absolute pain in the posterior there. I don't actually know if the British use it, though I would suppose it's not impossible. At least the elite units want to get their hands on it, because, some very portable artillery like that would be very handy. The The Germans had something similar to the Packard. There had been the Gebirgsgeschütz, which was just basically the light Infanteriegeschütz without the gun shield. North here, Humber going for the Panzergrenadiers there. Again, aggressive flexibility of the Humber. It is quite solid, as it is just highly mobile and very fast. And packs a punch. Panzer caught in the south by the fuel point there. Trying to flank with the Grenadiers. See machine gun actually a bit exposed. We got Bren guns up here in Monchya's infantry, so not bad there. We got 6 pounder guns, as obviously Monchya at this point is probably starting to figure, you know what, this guy's going to go for Stugs, probably in part because he knows me. So, you know, if you know me, you know I'm going to go for Stugs if possible. South here, Panzer flank around the Vickers there. Pack being pushed back there by the section. Panzer is also forced back.
One of our capture points is under attack.
Got those Panzergrenadiers moving actually very close to X2-1. There we go. Nice boost there. In terms of combat ability. But there you go, Vickers opening up. And wants more retreat. And again, getting pretty lucky with actually suffering no casualties. It does appear to be one of the benefits of the Panzergrenadier. You know, you're a bit lucky. You generally just tend to need to heal them a lot, rather than just having to like, replace them. Humber moving up, engaging the Grenadiers there. Ripping through there with its autocannon. The later models of Humber would actually be equipped with a 37mm gun there. Little fun fact. Sturmgeschütz 3 finally on the way up north here. Heavy fighting here for the northern points as Monchya and the 7th Armored Division keeps up the pressure. Machine gun there with Grenadier support moving in. Back here, Vickers holding back, healing, reinforcing, and we got here the training sent up for Monchya as well. For some boost for his troops. Mechanized assault group and rapid production. Packards found the Grenadiers, his sappers flanking in. Further up north, machine was a section of heavy cover. Not a good position of a machine gun, to be honest. Not good at all. Sturmgeschütz, the Willing Force, going to try and catch that Humber in the south. Get it out of my eyes. And then go up north here. Panzer going for that section here. Looking to flush them out and deal with them. Down to 2 men, low health. Quick get a wipe here. That was something very good for me. But no. Monchya spots what's going on and pulls them back. Meanwhile, Stug pursuing in the south here. Crashing through walls. Lining up here with the Humber. And for some reason, the Stug just doesn't shoot there. Much to my annoyance. Panzer dealing with the sappers there. Falls on the way here. Stug shoots this time and then misses the Humber. Very lucky there for Monchya. 6-pounder gun slices right through the sidearm of the Stug, which was just 30mm of armor. It was in fact that on most German tanks. Except for like things like the Tiger tank, which had 80mm of armor there instead. And the King Tiger even more. Using the point here. Stug falling back. Got the Pinamat machine gun added.
Next time, thank the nice lady before you run. That somebody's mother and you stole the last of her artichokes.
Got the point there. Vickers setting up here.
That's enemy infantry.
Straight into a Bren section here, blasting with the Bren gun. And he's taking some nasty hits, and that's just a retreat here in the south. Stug charging at the sappers, forcing the way here. Bit aggressive, but I'm banking on the fact that Monchya has most of the stuff in the center, doesn't have like any light tanks or anything like that to hunt down my Stug. Obviously a bit of a risk involved there. More pioneers to replace once lost. Up north here, Humber still added. My Grenadiers is being absolutely pulverized by this armored car. This fiendish British contraption. Panzer there being flanked by the Bren section and the south point being seized. And another Panzer squad heading further southwards. Both of the main show achieve veterans 1. I have not gone here for the Panzergrenadier officer quarters. I probably should, but I didn't get around to it. North here, Humber holding up. Machine gun going for the northern field point. Bit cheeky there, but sometimes you need a bit of cheek. Meanwhile, we've got the Packard just blasting away. And now Monchya here in a devious maneuvers meant to secure all 3 victory points, increasing the bleed on me. Pack themselves a loss there as Reinhold there gets shot down there by the Bren gunner. Up north here, fighting for the points continues against. Of course, got the Packard joining in the front as well. Sturmgeschütz being repaired in the southeast. Sapper sneaking up there for Monchya. Going to go for the car point. MP40 guns casting the Bren section in the center here. And straight into that Vickers. really at this point should expect the Vickers to be here a lot of the time, as it is over a good position. You'll in fact see most players use machine guns around here and here, because these points of rocks cannot be destroyed. So they tend to be very good position to stuff your machine gun behind for those crews. Samples the range some issues there, and are quickly dispatched. Stu charging in as well there. Good lord, they don't have to be so angry. Yes, we just hit their supply lines. Perfectly normal stuff. Hat cards are there, close range one. Monchya, it still doesn't appear to like gone for an infantry, though he has gone for the company command post. And is actually going for the Grant unlock, meaning actually intends to go for the Grant tank. Not a bad idea there, honestly. Gonna be poking forward, Stug going to support here. Second Stug ready. Arnie's advance got the center, we got a Brent section holding up here. Flanking in here. Charging forward with the Stug. And here I actually charge at the anti-tank. Also going off the machine gun here. Grenadiers here. And flanking the 6-pounder gun. I'm getting a bit reckless here, but I'm kind of betting on he doesn't have a second anti-tank gun. If he does, it would have given away his position sooner. At which point I can charge in the Stug and use his machine gun, take to a fair amount of damage there. Which does force back his anti-tank gun there. And we got the other Stug that ready with an upgrade as well here. So suddenly I control the center now. Somewhat. South side German troops all advancing, and Monchya push. Gonna have to get pushed off the center here soon, because in the face of two Stugs Maschinengewehren, his men are not gonna have a great time. Up north here, further fun here, Sappers Grenadiers here. Actually firing down, the Grenadiers are just getting absolutely pummeled. Obviously they're taking a bit of damage beforehand, but just Sappers with flamethrowers, I find just tend to utterly eviscerate my MP40 Grenadiers. There you go, full wipe there thanks to that pack howitzer. Has clearly been an excellent investment there for Monchya. Panzergrenadiers catching the 6-pounder gun here, wiping the crew. Quite the blow here to Monchya and the British, though. And of course, I'm going to be throwing that into tank gun as a priority.
Breakthrough tactics activated. Territory capture is prioritized.
Quick popping breakthrough here, hitting his fuel point outside of his base, grabbing the center. Hat Carty just continues to pummel away there. Almost got the fuel point here rendered neutral at least. And even charges men there into the arms of my Panzergrenadier, but there you go, bomb grenade off here. Kills Harold. The rest, though, do survive, though they probably feel a lot worse for it. And I'm replacing more Pioneers. Steady progress up north, south, south. We can see a bit of effort there for Monchya, but I feel like Monchya at this point is being somewhat constrained by his lack of infantry. Can't really, like, push across the map. Meanwhile, we got here a Centaur 4 out here to blast with its 95mm howitzer. Been an aggressive choice here for Monchya and the 7th Armoured. Humber's still alive, of course. 6-pounder gun there to replace the one utterly ruined by the Germans. Those bastards. Sturmgeschütze in the repairs. And we got those Panzergrenadier moving vorwärts with their Sturmgewehrs and their geballte Ladung. Bomb grenade barrel was actually a World War I tactic. Basically, you just take the Steel Handgranate warhead and strap it around, along with a bunch of others, around a central Steel Handgranate, and then you just chuck it. That's like whatever you don't like. In World War I, that would typically be like in an entrenched position, but it could also, you know, be an early tank. Got the Centaur there. And here, I don't know, the Stug gets messed up. He entangles, so wasn't quite able to follow up with the first Stug, which kind of messes things up, causing me to lose the first Stug, unfortunately. But I'd say Stug for Centaur is like a decent trade here. The pack, of course, also proving crucial there. Moving forward here. Slightly attempted to go for the point-blank blast, but the 6-pounder gun just keeps moving so fast, I don't think it's going to work out for me. Oh, a brutal push here. Second Stug around to support the assault. Panzergrenadier moving in as well here. And we can see Monchya's positions are really starting to struggle a bit here again with the lack of infantry. Got bomb grenade and the machine gun here. Wiping the crew utterly. Stug withdrawing here. Other Stug blasting at the section in the center there. Monchya's center has seen a rather significant dent punched into it. And now my Panzergrenadiers here are running off with the Vickers Hay machine gun. Up north, he mounts off from Monchya, blowing apart my MD42 crew. Sappers pushing in. In the south, there, Monchya is making some progress. Yeah, not a lot of infantry from Monchya. Notably, no commandos. At this point, considering he's gone for the company command post, Really haven't seen like any foot guards either.
Points remain. We are losing our grasp.
Still, Monchya is maintaining excellent map control, so well, I would definitely say it's a point of concern. It's clearly working out for him a fair bit, but the question, of course, is how much longer can this work out? I mean, you can bleed me out fast enough, it may not become an issue, of course, but these Panzergrenadiers are going to become an increasingly larger issue for him, except when they're sufficiently backed up by assault guns. Still growing southwards here. Charging on this machine gun and of course its main gun. You can see that Monchya just pulled back the section. I feel like you'd have stuck around a bit longer. It's not like the Stuk had the point blank blast, in which point he should have just retreated as soon as he got close. Center being grabbed, you've got the Stuk pushing forwards. And we got that Vickers there engaging the sappers, though they are already behind heavy cover digging in. Up north here, sappers rolling out fast time, but they're also disengaging. The Stuk just comes charging through. South side, I don't really know what I'm doing with the Stuk here. My guess is I felt like I had an opening and was kind of hoping he was slipping out a bit. I was not expecting a second anti-tank gun, by the way. So, got punished there. Again, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking. My guess is, again, I was just thinking I could, like, get away with what I did previously, and it just wasn't expecting a second anti-tank gun. Panzer pushing 40 backed up an enemy fortress in the south here, upnewing here Monchya's southern position. Center there, Pioneers routed. Could see another Pioneer squad wiped. Machine gun also getting hammered here. That pack howitzer continues to just, do great work there for Monchya and the 7th Armored Division. Another Stuk on way to replace the one utterly ruined by the British after my own foolish mistake. Northern point seized by the Panzergrenadiers. Monchya's definitely feeling the heat a bit though, and we got the M3 Grant medium tank on the way there.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
136 to 452, there's a massive gap here at the moment. Massive. Grenadier advancing, Pack 4 heading back, Stuk the remaining reserve, of course adding the Pinmat machine and Gewehr. Fuel-wise, I probably should try and secure more on the south here as well. I definitely need more fuel, and also crucially to deny my opponent fuel. Pack howitzer keeps blasting away, and there we go, we got the M3 Grant out, a British variant of the M3 Lee tank. Basically, the turret is different from the Grant compared to the Lee. The British didn't like the Lee's turret, and wanted one that was a bit bigger without a cupola MG as well. So that's how I get the Grant. So they're engaging far away with both his guns, 75 there. Sponson, and then of course a Thesma gun there on the top. Apparently the Thesma gun also could fire cancer shots, and apparently the British rather liked it for that. Apparently it's also reasonably popular because it was air conditioned, which in North Africa is very handy. Strictly engaged for the 6-pounder gun, straight for the side armor. We got an ace section here, by the way, for Monchya and the 7th Armoured. Grant heading northwards there. Vickers there, though. Caught by the section there, hold up with the Bren gun. Sappers grab northern field, pointing south. A bit of poking about there as well. It is worth noting, we're still not seeing a lot of infantry. In fact, wow, he's not just unlocking the Grant, he's unlocking the 17-pounder gun. Now, that's something you don't see every day. Like a British player going for both of those upgrades. Unlocks. Interesting choice there, Monchya. Very interesting. Grant moving forward, got the Stuks on the move here, going for that Grant tank. We also got the Pack 4 landing. Great shot there for the Grant's frontal armor. Panzer there, going for the mechanized assault Stuk, being bombarded with the 6-pounder gun here. And a push forward here. We do have German infantry about to try and halt this push here by Monchya and the 7th Armoured. The other squads push back here as the Grant, of course, packs a hell of a punch against advancing infantry. We got grenades in the section here. Pioneers walking into the grenade as well here. But it does force Monchya there to abandon positions by the centre up north. Grant tries to poke his nose in a bit there before realising it's got better places to be. Meanwhile, pushing forward here with the Panzergrenadiers leading the way, the Stuk remaining reserve here in case there are some opportunities. As Monchya Fine still being forced to withdraw, and again, part of the issue is just the lack of, well, infantry, I think. Also losing his machine gun did not do Monchya any favours. But now we do have a 17-pounder gun up here as well. One of the best anti-tank guns of the war. It packed a hell of a punch. And of course the British will of course seek to mount it on as many things as possible. Such things as the Archer, the Firefly, and you also have the Achilles tank destroyers. Uncle is pushing forward, back up the machine gun here. And there you go, Baldelading here. Monchya, if he's not paying attention, it's going to get very painful. There you go. He wasn't paying attention, and there's a good chance of wiping his ace infantry section with the Bren gun. Huge blow to Monchya. Massive win for me there. And the center beam mod section being caught by the Panzergrenadiers and the double Stooks, raining down an ungodly torrent of death here, forcing Monchya to pull back. The other section before that gets sprayed as well here in the hot sands of North Africa. Up north, machine pushed back by the Grant tank here. 17-pounder gun here moving about. We got the truck upgrade to an ambulance. Setting up to cover the center here and guard against any Stoop pushes there. I mean, that's definitely one way to secure yourself against any head-on assaults from an assault gun. Meanwhile, I'm going for third Stoop because I have absolutely no clue my opponent's going to go for 17-pounder gun because, quite frankly, I don't actually see them a lot. Do not see them a lot, but that does mean they're bad. Meanwhile, though, I brought up some artillery, some stuff of my own. In this case, the Nebelwerfers, because my opponent's relying on a lot of anti-tank guns and other stuff, so I figured, you know what? Let's get a Nebelwerfer for this. Southeast Abs caught by the Panzergrenadiers. Sturmgeschütz forwards backed up by Panzergrenadiers, well catching the fresh section out of Monchya. Center got pushed forwards as well here. Nebelwerfer slowly creeping forwards. South side, the sappers out of hybris getting wiped out, and down they go. Quite a blow there to Monchya. That is another wipe here, and we could see another wipe here. The Panzergrenadiers are just shredding Monchya's troops at this point. And again, we can sort of see the Panzergrenadiers sort of getting into their own element versus the British, who do not have access to the double BAR upgrade. Thank that happens. Starting to feel like Monchya is somewhat falling back into Company's 2 tactics. That is what I at this point call hedgehogging. That is, you just set up a lot of, you know, anti-tank guns and you slowly inch your way forwards with this anti-tank hedgehog position. Machine being pushed back here. Shot far right at the Stoop. Punches through cleanly and does a lot of damage. But, of course, I return the favour with a Nebelwerfer barrage. Firing incendiary rockets in this case, though primarily used high explosives. There you go. 17-pounder gun cleared out here. Entertain also trouble with the ace Panzergrenadiers. Stooks attacking him from the south. Machine coming up against enemy reinforcing troops. Another section could be wiped out. He's actually, like, lost so many sections now. Like, these raw sections are getting absolutely demolished by just ace Panzergrenadiers at this point. That's incredible. Receptioning right here by the Panzergrenadier. Sectioning forward, Stoop blasting away there. I'm kind of surprised he just isn't going for foot guards at all. I feel like foot guards would have done him a lot more good, partly because, you know, they're more survivable. They got Thompsons, and they also got bazookas. So the sort of continued system on sections when the section is just getting absolutely massacred is a bit strange. So that's just been a lot of losses here for Monchya now. I didn't actually gain much ground, but him losing several sections for this kind of makes up for it. In the south, we got the punching force here with the flamethrower, the number 2. Oh, they are quickly overwhelmed here with the British forces, the Grant, and of course, the remaining veteran section here for Monchya does force them to withdraw down to 1 man with 19 points of health left. And I'm actually going to go for another Panzergrenadier score, but I'm actually going to change my mind here and go on. Hang on, I can just start going for a Tiger tank first. Then we got the hump up there. But Monchya is slowly being forced more and more on the defense of my attacks, while certainly perhaps a bit reckless. I actually make an impact here on this, sort of bleeding them out here. Because there's a section here. Nebelwerfer ready to fire off another volley again soon. And we got another Vickers there for Monchya and the British Empire. 136 to 186. I've been able to close the gap somewhat here. Vickers then will have to withdraw soon. That pack out continues to be absolutely amazing. We've got 13 kills, another Nebelwerfer barrage, this time to silence the pack howitzer. Quickly killing several of the chaps manning in the south here, creeping up on the southern victory point, but the sappers have got a Stug in reserve. Ready to deal with that. North here, Humber versus the Panzergrenadiers there. That's only 2 halfway to the east. Little Stug charging through here, taking the north road. Straight out the Humber. Good shot here. Will I find able to take out the Humber? Yes. Humber goes up in flames. Cooked like a Christmas goose from Texas.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
Looking forward to the section here. Pack cards are back in action. 17 pounder gun setting up here. And of course by the ambulance, supported by the ambulance. Panzergun there trying to catch the 6 pounder gun off guard. Got quickly sent packing there. 131 to 179. Steadily closing on that Tiger tank. As for Monchya, not sure what else he's going to go for next. North here, the Ace Panzergrenadiers very quick to get the section they're sent packing there. Obviously not in any hurry to get utterly murdered by the Germans. You know what? You can have the point. You can have it. Got the ambulance at the ready. And there you go. Tiger sent in to support the 21st Panzerdivision. And adding a pin-mounted machine and gewehr.
We've captured the sector.
Heading for the southern victory point. Need to stabilize. I need to keep him off the victory points as much as possible. Got the Grant here by making use of the ruined building here for cover. Sharp play there by Monchya. Allows more still to cover the point. There you go. Nebelwerfer barrage in the machine gun here. Except the rockets seemingly aren't really hitting. There we go. A bit more damage in tightening southwards. Trying to flank up here. I'm of course unawares where the 17 pounder gun is. I'm still expected to be around here. Monchya of course is a bit more aggressive. Flanking the ground, but the first shot from the Tiger whiffs. Shot bounced. There you go. Tiger got a shot through the ground and of course did a fat chunk of damage. Then the south here. Sapling forward to support for the British artillery. Sturmgeschütz finally still got the 17 pounder gun here, and I'm not really entirely sure if I'm actually aware of it, but I soon will be, that's for sure. Going for a point blank blast here. Kills poor Robert there, but the 17 pounder gun's about to make short work of my Sturmgeschütz. Leaving it with very little health here, and the 17 pounder gun is closing him back into one very rapidly, and there we go, knocks out my Stug. Just 3 shots there. Do not take the 17 pounder gun lightly. In the center, the Panzergrenadiers pushing forward more pioneers to replace the ones I keep losing. Because I'm apparently not very good at keeping them alive. Admittedly, they are tough to keep alive. Machine then being hammered at the pack howitzer here. Slowly approaching the east level on that one. And we got another grant here for Monchya. And quickly position the 17 pounder gun. Yeah, very nice play there with the 17 pounder gun overall. Like, he's not just forgetting it like in one place, he's, you know, repositioning it, like trying to make it hard for me to predict where it is and hit it with artillery. But at the same time, he's clearly, you know, again, you know, hedgehogging. Like, he's constantly just trying to, like, you know, maintain a strong position and force me, like, into attacking into it. And to an extent, it is working. It's just, this isn't Companies 2. Attacking Companies 3 actually works a lot better than it did in Companies 2. It's one of the reasons I actually prefer Companies 3 so much more than Companies 2. Attacking works. You can actually pull off some attacks that actually matter. But anyways, Nebelwerfer barrage here. Hitting the 6 pounder gun there, forcing that one back. Almost wiping out there. Vickers also getting a feeling here of the Nebelwerfer. Got the 17 pounder gun basically up north here. Pioneers routed as British forces head northwards here. South we got machine gun panzer support moving forwards. Stugs advancing. Tigers well there. Charging in here. Pushing up here as well, going for that Panzergrenadier. Heavy damage to the Panzergrenadier. There go Battlegroup on the Panzergrenadier, wiping out the crew. And we got an incendiary bombardment here from Monchya. Interesting enough, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it was a misclick. Oh, it's Duke Target Tank pushing forwards here. Grant's getting pumped over. British German fire here. Forgot about the other Stuke that didn't get into the assault here, so withdraw here before I end up taking too many losses. But another half-decent push there. And then you can see that Monchya is just more and more on the defense here. He's just starting to, like, you know, turn, like, any, like, tactical win into, like, you know, more map control because he's just so defensive. And the lack of infantry is really hampering what Monchya can do. Again, the lack of, like, any foot guards, so, you know, commandos here continues to be a bit of a surprise to me. We got the center, we got the 6-pounder guns, we got the Grant, we got the 7-pounder gun, and of course the Panzergrenadiers all blasting away their Tiger Fang here. Now using the building for cover there. Ace machine gun team there, they're being met with all the British Empire has to offer. And straight into, like, all anti-tank guns, my Stu pretty much just bursts into flames. Had no chance of reaction. I wasn't expecting, like, both anti-tank guns and the 17-pounder gun all pointing in that one direction. Of course, I'm very quick to respond to this by firing off another Nebelwerfer barrage. North here, Panzergrenadiers pushing forwards here. And there you go, Blitzkrieg. I'm going to charge straight ahead here in a somewhat reckless maneuver. But at this point, I kind of feel like I've just sit around there waiting for, like, you know, the right moment. It's never going to appear. Sometimes you just got to, like, you know, kick in the door and go, you know, Hentoch. And there you go, bomb grenade in the 17-pounder gun. My Tiger, for some reason, kept, like, missing this, hitting the ground, but someone not doing any damage. I don't know what happened there. Got the ground here. Anti-tank's been cleared out here. Heavy losses there from up north. They got the point here. Tiger tank, though, getting wrecked, unfortunately. Machine gun team cleared out somewhere. But the Ace Panzers there drifting through the 17-pounder guns, bleeding. Monchya here dry. Pushing for that northern victory point. We've got 96, 187. 6-pounder gun cleared out as well here. The Panzergrenadiers are forced back here, but the Grant, which is heavily damaged. And up north here, we've got the other East Panzergrenadier squad now dealing with 2 sapper sections. One of which, of course, is notably completely raw here in terms of experience, at least near raw. Certainly would not be very popular with Gordon Ramsay. Anyways, up north here, the other sappers definitely a bit more crispy. And Betty 2 there get utterly annihilated. Grant pushed in here, another Stug arriving. Machine guns, Pioneers being launched up for another assault here on the center. 96, 165 here. Monchya is kind of holding on, but the problem is he doesn't really have a lot to hold on with. The main issue remains at this point, infantry. He's got 1 veterans, his 3 section, there you go. GG as his ambulance gets hit by Nebelwerfer. His anti-tank guns are very much in line of fire, and he just doesn't really have a lot to really hold things together with. So I imagine at this point he just sort of throws in the towel there in part because he just can't deal with these veteran 3 Panzergrenadiers, and they're just absolutely tearing him a new posterior. So there you go, GG, game over. A fierce back and forth fight here, I think, highlighting that while again the Americans might make the Panzergrenadiers bad against them, against the British Panzergrenadiers remain an excellent investment in my book. They definitely, I think, proved to be very crucial in the fight here versus Monchya, particularly because Monchya just didn't really go for a lot of infantry, and certainly no elite infantry like the commandos or the foot guards, which could have been probably a bit of a bigger headache for the Panzergrenadiers. So I feel like those are things sort of helped back Monchya as he went on. Again, he tried to turn this around by hedgehogging, but again, as I mentioned before, in Companies 3, hedgehogging is less just super duper great. You can't just, like, you know, dig in and just, you know, hope to wait it out like that. A good attack can actually, like, dislodge these positions, do damage. Like, assault infantry in Companies 3, like Panzergrenadiers, can actually do their damn job, unlike in Companies 2. So those were some crucial elements there. That said, there are definitely things I could have done better, I could attack better, I definitely relied too much on head-on assaults, I could have tried flanking more. I could also consider, like, you know, just the Panzergrenadier officer quarters sooner, maybe some white phosphorus rockets for, you know, proper smoke screens, Or you maybe also making us assault group earlier for like the Stummel, but also the Starstorm could have been a great investment for Israel. There are definitely a lot of things I could have done better. There are definitely times where just I got a bit too frustrated and let my temperament get the better of me. Still, thought this was a great fight with a lot of good action here, some good offensive pushes here. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider supporting the Propagandacaster by donating our pledge on Patreon. Links in the description. This is ImperialDane. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.